Okay, I promised I would do my palette declutter, and I have 6 drawers like this with palettes in them, some full and some not. So I'm going to try to go through it quickly so this doesn't take forever, but I really want to be realistic about what I use, what I want to use, and what I just know I won't, that I can just pass on. So this, I know this is a I Heart Revolution little egg here that has some highlighters and little, I should put it down where you can see it, some highlighters and some shadows in it. It's super cute, but I never touch it, never reach for it, and so I'm going to give that to my niece because I know she will think that's awesome. These are my Maybelline Lemonade Craze and Soda Pop palettes. I love both of these. This was like my go-to summer palette last year, and I just recently got this one from Katie Loves Makeup, who I will link her channel down below. Anyone I mention, I'm going to link their channels down below so you can check them out. But I know this is going to be another favorite. I've used it several times already and really like it, so I'm keeping those. This is just the Wet n Wild Rosé in the Air palette. I use this quite a bit, so I'm going to hold on to that because I really like it. And it's also a great one for traveling. This is a Maybelline City Mini palette, and this is in Concrete Runway. It's, you know, cool toned, and I do like the colors in it, but I just never reach for it, and so I'd rather pass that on to somebody else who might get use out of it. This is a little smoke out palette. As you can see, I have never even taken the packaging off of it. I got this, and it's really pretty. Like, there's this purple shimmer in here and blue, like purple and black and blue and black. But I never have opened it up, haven't used it, and I know I just won't, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to someone else. Also, I have this Bad Habit Aura palette, which I dropped when I first got it and shattered a couple of the shades in it. And I do like it. You can see I used it quite a bit, but I have not reached for it in a long time. And this is supposed to be a dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette, which I recently was just gifted a used one, so I figure I might as well pass this one on to somebody else since I now have that palette. So that one's going to be going. This is a little Stila set. It's got a little blush and highlighter in there and some eyeshadows and this little lipstick, but they are not very pigmented, and so I've used it once and I know I won't use it again, so I'm just going to pass that on. I recently won this Shayla and ColourPop Proceed with Caution palette from Stephanie Armour, and I will link her channel down below. I love this palette. It's just so pretty. This shade right here I absolutely love, and so I'm going to keep that. Admittedly, I took these all out of their boxes because pretty much all these palettes have boxes, so I don't know why, but I always keep them. This is my ColourPop Good Sport palette. This is an awesome palette. I got this from Anya Stamper, who I will link down below. She is an awesome friend of mine as well, and I love this palette, and so I'm going to keep that. I have this ColourPop You Had Me at Hello palette. I use this a lot. It's like when I don't want to have to think too much about what kind of look I'm going to do, this is one I always reach for. And also, in that same token, is the ColourPop Give It To Me Straight palette. That's another one that I reach for when I don't want to have to think too hard, but I know I can come up with something simple and it always looks good. And then the Shayla and ColourPop Perception palette. This was also from Stephanie Armour. This is gorgeous, and I've been using this a ton lately, so I'm definitely keeping that. ColourPop shadows are like one of my favorite formulas for sure. Next up is this Revolution. It's 32 eyeshadows. What is this called? Affirmation is the name of this palette. And it is a cool toned palette, and it's really pretty. I do like it. It's got a lot of options, and I got that from Lucy Pertface, who I just love, so I'm definitely keeping that. I also have the Soph and Makeup Revolution palette, the original. I've done videos with it before because like the strawberry shade is one of my favorite, Strawberry Sweets, and I really love like this pumpkin shade. I do like this palette, but I just really don't reach for it, and I have to work so much harder to make looks come out the way I want to because the pigmentation just isn't that great. So I'm going to go ahead and pass that on. And then my Blush Tribe and Paulina palette, which looks like this. I love it and I love her. She is one of my absolute favorite people to watch, and so this is not going anywhere. I am keeping this. Next up, this one doesn't have too many in it, but this is the Persona Identity palette. This is one of my favorite palettes you've heard me talk about several times because I just love this palette. It is like always goes with me everywhere I go because it's just perfection, I feel like. So I'm keeping that. And then this is the Alamar Cosmetics, the Reina del Caribe. I don't know how to say that, but that's what I'm gonna go with. And it looks like this. And I love this palette. This is such a gorgeous palette. I feel like it's such a pretty like summer and fall palette. So keeping that. This is my Milani Most Loved Matte palette. And it is very pretty and the mattes perform very well. But I just have so many of these like similar type colors in other palettes. And my mom could use some makeup, and so I told her I have a palette that will be perfect for you. So I'm definitely passing this one on to my mom. And then this is the Laura Lee, the Boss Babe and Party Animal little duo here. I'm not going to open it up. I think most people have seen it, but I'm going to go ahead and keep that. I don't really use it that much, but I'll keep it anyway. Okay, this is a fun drawer to me. I have my Morphe Jaclyn Hill. I have two of the Vault palettes. This is the Dark Magic palette. It looks like this. This is a gorgeous palette. I love it. So keeping that. And this is the Armed and Gorgeous palette, and another gorgeous palette that I got from my awesome friend Leanne Sorreo, so I will link her down below as well. And she got me this as like an early Christmas present this year. I love this palette so much. And then I have my NYX little Ultimate Edit. This is the Phoenix palette that I just recently got. And also got the NYX Off Tropic palette. And I really like to pair these two. They've got great colors that, you know, coincide with each other. So I'm keeping both of those. And my NYX Grind palette, which looks like this. I love these kind of colors. And so I'm definitely keeping this one also. And then some of my favorite palettes are my Juvia's Place palettes. This is the Nubian, whoops, which is just these gorgeous like copper shades, really warm toned palette. I love it so much, so keeping that. And the Saharan by Juvia's, which looks like this. I also really love this one. I would say ColourPop and Juvia's are my two like favorite, you know, more affordable brands. My palette's gorgeous, so I'm keeping that too. And in this drawer, I have my Pure Celebrate Your Selfie palette. This is from Clara Barrera, who is also a friend of mine here on YouTube, so I will link her down below. And I had won this from a giveaway that she did. So it looks like this. It has these really pretty pressed glitters and shimmers and some good matte colors too. And how cute is this packaging? And then on this side it has some blushes and highlight. And then on this side has some lashes, which I have never tried yet, and a little lip and mascara. So super cute, keeping that. This is a Pure Trolls palette, super cute. So I haven't used this a ton, but I have used it, and I really do like the colors. I got a lot of fallout from this color though, so next time I'll be more careful with it because I did that all over the lid. But anyway, it's a really pretty palette, and so I'm keeping that. And then this is the Pure Visionary palette, which looks like this. I've used this a ton. This is a really pretty palette. These shades are so like creamy soft, and they're just beautiful. So I'm keeping that. And then I just got this from my cousin Debbie that I absolutely love. This drawer I already know a lot is going to be gotten rid of out of. This is the Morphe James Charles palette, which looks like this. I'm keeping it, but I have to be honest, I rarely ever reach for it because it's gigantic. And every time I get it out, I'm just like kind of overwhelmed by it. So I feel like I don't I end up doing looks that I don't really like because it's like I just don't even know what to do with it or something. I don't know. I'm not in love with it, but I am going to keep it because it has a lot of good, like, bright colors, and, you know, at different times I like to use those, so I'm keeping that. This is the BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette, and I love this palette. You've heard me talk about it several times, and I've used it on camera, so looks like this. Definitely keeping it. Really fun colors. Then I've got the BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette, the original one, which looks like this. This palette is also gorgeous. I swear the best purples I have in my collection are in this palette. I love those purples. Every time I use them, people like compliment my eye makeup, so I love those. Keeping that. So I know I said I was getting rid of a lot, and I've said I'm keeping every single thing so far, but here's where we start getting rid of things. This is a BH Cosmetics Studio Pro palette. It's all shimmers, looks like this. I never, ever, ever reach for this, so I am passing that on. This is the Modern Neutrals palette. Which looks like this. It has gotten a ton of use, but this was one of the first palettes that I ever owned when I started getting into makeup, and before I really knew about better formulas. And so now when I try to go back and use this, I can't stand it because it's too like chalky and just, it doesn't give pigmentation like I want. Actually, I did a video last year and I was trying to do a sweet potato pie look, like fall foods based looks, and I basically said it ended up looking like Cheeto dust, and because it's just not pigmented, it's just not good. However, a lot of the other BH Cosmetics palettes are amazing, so it's not a slam to them. It's just these ones are not good. I would not recommend them. So getting rid of that. Same with the Neutralized palette from them that looks like this. Used it a ton when I first got it, but now I have so many shadows that perform so awesome that this just doesn't do it for me anymore. So passing that one on. This is the Blushed Neutrals that has eyeshadow and blush. It's a pretty palette, but I just don't ever reach for it and have too many other things that I love more and want to use. So passing that one on as well. And then this is the BH Studio Pro palette. And I do like this palette, so I am going to keep this one. And since it's one of my originals that I had gotten, I'm glad to have one that I like that I want to keep. So that I'm keeping. And then the last drawer is a fun one. I've got my little Tartelette Tease palette that looks like this. Super simple. This is what I'm talking about. If you want an eyeshadow look like without putting much thought into it at all, this is perfect for that. So, and they smell so good. And this is the Tarte's Pro. And it looks like this, and I like the way it's laid out because each row is like an entire look, or you can mix and match, but I like that to just be like a no-brainer also. Some days you just don't want to have to think that hard about your makeup. This is the Huda Beauty Warm Brown Obsessions palette. I actually have this on today, and this is gorgeous. I've used this a ton. This gold right here is amazing, but these mattes are so awesome. I would love to have some more of these. Little small ones that they have. Not so much the neon ones that they just came out with, but some of the other, like the jewel tone one and stuff. Coral. I want that one. Okay. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette that I'm getting rid of that Aura palette from Bad Habit because it's a dupe for it. So now that I've got this one, I'm holding on to this. And the Subculture palette, it looks like this, which, oh my gosh, I love it. Totally my colors. The ABH Sultry palette, oops, which looks like this. More cool toned kind of palette. The Soft Glam palette, which looks like this. I like this one a lot. These are like a lot of my colors. I like oranges and stuff. Burgundy. and the Beach Riviera palette that looks like this, which is more fun and summery, which I have not touched in a while, so I probably should. Which is part of why I wanted to do this, so I could really look at what I've got and kind of pull some things to the front. This is my Dose of Colors Desi and Katie Friendcation palette. Looks like this. Definitely keeping that. That I got from Jenny in Real Life. I won that from a giveaway that she did, so I will link her down below too. This is the Pat McGrath Labs Mothership Sublime Bronze Temptation palette. This packaging is just awesome. And then, get the little paper out. Here's what the shades look like. This is so pretty. I love this. I got that from Cassie, whose channel I will link down below, from a giveaway that I won from her. And then this is the Kat Von D 10th Anniversary palette that I got from my sweet friend Joanna. Sent this to me. I cried. Like, I made a video about this because she was so sweet, and it was the first thing someone like sent to me, and I was so overwhelmed. So I will link her channel down below. She's super lady, and I still love this palette. I think it's so pretty and just fun color scheme. So that was the last of my drawers. And then the last thing I have is just my Kaleidos Futurism collection. Actually, I'm not going to open this all up. You guys have seen this before. And I'm going to be doing a swatch video with it too. So the 3 palettes that obviously I'm keeping. My husband just got them for me for Mother's Day, and I absolutely love them. So that was my collection of palettes. And I ended up getting rid of these 3 BH Cosmetics ones here. Oh, this is also a BH Cosmetics. So 4 of those. And then this little Smoke Out palette, my Milani Must-Load Mattes palette, my Revolution Soph palette, this little Stila set, the Bad Habit Aura palette, this little City Mini palette, and this little egg one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 palettes I'm getting rid of. I feel like I did a pretty good job. So now I can just reorganize the things that I love and be able to see them more easily and start using some of the things that have kind of been hidden behind other stuff that I haven't been using. So that is my palette collection, and